Hello guys, I'm Futureal. I stream 5 days a week or on twitch.tv/Futureal, and in this video it's yet another segment from the PTR servers 2.4 Diablo 2 Resurrected. We have already tested the Sorceress and what was new with her, mainly the Nova build, and we also have a small segment on the Hydra build, so check out the link in the description if you want to see that video. Now, as for this video, we are testing out the Paladin, and there is two builds that are changed in that for that character, and we're going to test them both. It is the Fist of Heaven's Paladin, and it is the Holy Fire, the dual dragon build, or the Dragon Hand of Justice Dream combination Auradin concoction thing. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. I don't think we know what the best in slot gear is even right now. We don't know what's more efficient. We don't know even if the build is working as it's supposed to work right now. Nevertheless, we're going to test these two builds and give our honest opinion. If you like the video, hit me up with a like and subscribe, and leave your comments down below for what you think. Until the next video, take care, and I will see you soon. Alright, so here we are, guys. We have built our Fist of Heaven's Paladin. As I mentioned in the introduction, we don't know exactly what's going to be the best in slot yet. We don't know if these characters are going to stay this way. The way I see it, of course, the way that Fist of Heavens work, it shoots a lightning bolt from the sky, it does lightning damage, and then it shoots Holy Bolt out from the target to the closest targets around it. Now, the Holy Bolt doesn't do damage to other than undead units, which means that this is a pretty terrible area farming character in the first place, which is why it's historically been a PvP build. Not a bad PvP build, to be honest, but the way I see it, this is a boss farming build. If you ever want to play this PvM, or PvE if you know that expression better, this is a boss farming build, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do a Chaos run. Going to show you guys how it looks and how he deals with Diablo himself. I do expect this to be fairly slow, even if the gear that we have is going to be very, very good. But I still think that it's fair both to Microsoft Blizzard and to the people that play Fist of Heavens, if it is PvP or in PvM, to actually test the build on the PTR and give it a fair review. So let's just go over the gear real quick. The Mercenary is running the usual suspects, Doom Andes and Fortitude, and this is because you will be running Conviction yourself, so you don't need the Infinity. I don't even know if Doom is the best to go here. We just went with something. It's very hard to figure out what is going to be the absolute best setup for a very, very niche character that this is. The gear I'm using is Heart of the Oak, Griffins, we have Enigma, 215 Paladin, we went with Herald, we don't even have sockets in here, we don't take this that serious. We have some Treks, SOJ, 10 FCR Ring, Arachnids, and Mage Fist for those plus skills. And, obviously the FCR for that, the plus skill here. And we have 131 FCR right now. We have 7 combat skillers with various stats: Dex, Life, Hit Recovery, Torch and Annie, and some random small charms that we just threw on. And we have CTA and Spirit on swap, of course. The build is as follows, and this is very, very optional what you can do here. The way that I chose to do it was that I go with max Fist of Heavens, max Holy Bolt, we go max Holy Shock for the max of Fist of Heavens damage, and then you can take any of the auras if you wish to do that. Obviously you take 1 point in Holy Shield. We went with 1 point in Redemption. That also gives you Vigor aura, which is very nice. And then the remaining points you can pretty much put in the resistances, you can put it in Salvation, to have, against Conviction mobs. There's a lot of stuff you can do here. For us, for simplicity, we just dumped the points in Holy Shield, so we have 12 base points here, as you can see Where can you see it? There, you can see it. Right next to my head. Right there. So we're gonna try the build and see how it works. And we have teleported to Chaos Sanctuary, so I'm gonna run you from the start of Chaos Sanctuary through the entire run, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what this this will do. You think a 320 circlet would be better? A 320 circlet would be -10. -10 enemy lightning resist. And +10. No, that would not be better. The extra -10 lightning res would be way too valuable. You're not gonna get any better than that. Because the negative lightning res is a clear it's a clear boost to all your damage. But okay, so we have here, we're running Conviction and Fist of Heavens. I'm gonna be running this quite slowly so you guys can see the damage we do. There. So we are, of course, on players 1 here. So I think that this is one of the only areas that this character is realistically able to farm. Because a majority of the mobs in here are, in fact, undeads. And you can kill them really, really quickly. Also remember to activate Redemption when you're running past packs. So these packs are quite easy to take down. We do have quite a bit of damage, but obviously the movement speed isn't all that. But I'm purposefully not teleporting here. Just want to give you the authentic feeling of what it would actually be looking like. But look at this! Look at this damage he has when you actually have majority of undead mobs. It is actually quite good. There is one thing that I noticed that is not good on the other hand, and that's the fact that when you target something, when you have a successful cast of Fist of Heavens, there seems to be like a spell delay. So let me see if I can show you what this looks like. So if I target the ground here, I can dry hump the air. Take a look at how fast I'm casting. So this is what the speed of the spell should be. But when you have a successful cast, there is a cooldown, which makes the build quite clunky. I have to say, it does make the build quite clunky, so I have to wait for the mercenary here to deal with that thing. Let me take a look real quick what the cooldown is. Casting delay, 0.4 seconds. 0.4 seconds.
Just happy to have you here, smiley face.
Hey, Epic Low, thank you so much for the 2 months. Appreciate it, welcome back. So yeah, it makes the build a bit clunky, but this is definitely playable. If you love this build, I don't see this build any different as if you would want to play like a Boazon, or you want to play like any of the other fringe builds. To be absolutely honest, I don't see anything like super wrong with this build. It's very, very. First of all, it's very, very cool, but it's a lot better than what the traditional Fist of Heavens build was in PVM. Now, is this great? No, it's not. This iteration of the build is not great, but I think maybe Chaos Sanctuary is the area that you would want to farm if you do play this build. So I have taken you guys through a Chaos run on when the brakes were on. I feel that's very, very important to say. I have definitely had the brakes on, so I'm gonna keep killing Diablo here, and then I'm gonna do a run where I don't communicate with you guys, which slows me down. I'm not gonna clear everything. I'm just gonna go and see how fast I can clear everything. And that's gonna give you guys more of an idea of what this character would be like to farm with. So let's just buff up here. Shield. And let's go in. Yeah, so you look at the damage. Oh, we can actually just stand in that. But look at the damage we have here. It's actually... I have to be honest, it's underwhelming, but it's better than I thought, actually. But I also think that these bosses are technically bugged at the moment. But I think the biggest problem is look at the cast speed he has. The casting delay is very, very painful. Very, very painful. But okay, we are gonna restart the game, and I'm gonna do a full speed run, and you guys can give me your honest feedback in the chat when you see how this build does when you're just going for the boss kill. Okay, we have that, and we do far teleporting. Far teleporting, let's go, let's go, let's go. Up here, click both these. Over here, kill this thing. Oh, I forgot to click meditation there, that was not good. Or redemption, I mean. There we go. Click, there we go. It's important to get that tick. Get that redemption tick. It's almost the same as when you're playing Hammered with Doom, right? There he is. So 3 hits on Infector, and we go back. We are gonna seal pop, of course, because that's what this character is good at. There we go. That is not bad. That is not very much worse than a Hammered. I feel like if you get to practice this build in a way that you have a few hours, a few weeks of practice, I think that you can farm Chaos with the seal popping virtually in the same way that the Hammered can. Obviously, this is not going to be as strong as the Hammered when you have increased player count. But for players 1 on Battle.net for solo farming, this is just fine. I have no issues with this. Yeah, but also keep in mind that Diablo is bugged right now. So, you know, we can't judge the build that because the bosses are bugged. So let's see if we got anything from the seal pop here.
I am overburdened.
We can't be bothered with gems, of course. Nothing interesting over here. And here we are. So I think the biggest issue with this build right now is actually the spell delay. Oh wait, wrong aura. No wonder I'm doing crap damage. I was on meditation, guys. I was brain farting for a second. So, yeah. That's... this is not very impressive single target damage, but we can't judge the single target damage because these bosses are bugged on the PTR right now. But when you take into account how quickly we did the entire Chaos, I think that this is actually a solid build specifically for Chaos Sanctuary. There we go. These are demons, so I don't do any damage to them. Now this is terrible. I mean, obviously I'm killing them, but no. Trav. No bueno. Alright, so again, suggestion from the chat here. We're gonna go to Ancient Tunnels. There is supposedly a lot of undeads down here. So we're gonna see how this build fares down here. We don't have the map, of course, so that's kind of janky. And these are not undeads, meaning that it is a little yikes. But here we have some undeads. And these, what are they called? Marauders? Is that what they're called? They are basically in, I think, 33% of the games down here. But of course, very, very good on killing undead mobs. Check this out, guys. Very, very nice clearing speed down here when you have undead enemies. And I think this is also, it's very, very profoundly shows how important it is to have a strong mercenary if you're playing this build. Because I can kill absolutely everything that is undead. Like, it just melts. This is actually giving me a really, really positive vibe. If this build could only give damage to every unit and not just undeads, I think this would be a really, really cool build. Again, want to take my hat off to Senpai over at Project Diablo 2 for doing exactly that with this build, and this is a very, very cool build. It could actually be an option to go with Phoenix. If you are going with Phoenix here, not only do you save your point in redemption, you would also have eternal redemption, and you're not relying on spirit here to have FCR, because you have griffins, so you have a lot of FCR on the rest of your gear. You could potentially go with a Phoenix here and get that extra redemption. Might be an idea for a more high-end version of this build. I did like Ancient Tunnels for this build, I have to say. Keep in mind that I have played this build for exactly 17 minutes. If you get a few days, couple of weeks on this build, I think that that could work really well. Okay, another area suggested by the chat. It's the Stony Tombs, which has been upgraded to a area level 85 in patch 2.4. We also got a suggestion for Pindle Skin. I'm not going to be doing Pindle Skin. I will tell you straight up front, this character is going to be amazing at farming Pindle. Everything around him and Pindle himself are undeads. They're just going to melt. So if you need to make your games a few seconds longer because of the temp ban thing issue on Battle.net, definitely add Pindle Skin to your farming route. But for now, let's check out the Stony Tombs and see how that goes. Lots of undeads here. I like... Oh, these dung soldiers are not undeads. These are... Okay, it's kind of like a similar experience to... Ancient Tunnels, I guess. A lot of undeads, but not all of them. This area is also possibly a solid area for this character if you need to extend the game length. Let's get some mana just by standing here. Oh no, we can't. We actually redeemed these already. So, level 2. Of course, the scarabs are going to slow you down, but everything else you kill really, really fast. I have to say that this build is actually surprising me a little bit. This build is better than what I feared. This is definitely doable.
I can't carry anymore.
This is absolutely doable. It's not the fastest, it's not the greatest,
I can't carry anymore.
but if you do like this build, I could actually recommend this zone right here. Yeah, I do have pretty good gear, of course. It would be pointless to test this build with budget gear because you don't know how good it's gonna be. Like, the gear is good, but it's not crazy, right? It's not like it's unobtainable.
I can't carry anymore.
It's a big difference from having good gear in Resurrected and having good gear in, for instance, PD2, where you have all the corruptions and that shit as well. So, I think, for me, Stony Tombs is 2 thumbs up. Like, we have to look at this build for what it is. It went from being a very, very niche, unplayable build in PVM in 1.14, or, you know, the previous iteration of Resurrected. And now it's actually playable. It's not the best, it's not the fastest, but it's very, very cool. And you can definitely farm Chaos with it. I would not go to Trav with it. Terrible in Trav. Stony Tombs works fine. Ancient Tunnels works fine. So that would be my 3 suggested areas. Stony Tombs, Ancient Tunnels, Chaos Sanctuary. This character actually surprised me in a positive way, even though it's not as strong as I might want. But for the purposes of farming, it's still actually a solid build. Mausoleum is terrible. Never go to Mausoleum. Bale runs are terrible. Never go to Bale run. Talking for farming here, guys, for magic finding. It's bad. Those 2 are the actual 2 worst areas in the game. So don't go there. They will that will absolutely destroy your magic finding results if you go to Bale and Mausoleum. So find other areas where your character will be strong. Okay, that was it for the Fist of Heavens. Very positive surprise here. Really, really liked it. We are going to get into the Auradin, Dreamadin, Dragon-din combination thing. So we're just going to change the scene for a couple of seconds, and we're going to get into that build next. Alright, it's time to test the Auradin. We have built a kind of like a janky version of the Auradin right now. I'm going to show you the Mercenary first. We just have the Doom, Andes, and Fortitude. Don't worry about the bases. They're just put together. The Auradin itself, Call to Arms and Spirit. We're running the Flickering Flame, Mara's, Double Skill Ring, Arachnid, Sandstorm Tracks, Mage Fist, and we have 7 offensive skillers, and Geeds, Torch Annie, and some random small charms. Now, we have a Dragon Monarch. We didn't have any other dragon. I couldn't really make one, so we're just going to go with this. It doesn't really change anything except your resistances. You can see it over here. Our resistances are a bit bad. And we know we have a Hand of Justice. Now, we are testing with Enigma first. I've been told about 417 times in the last 94 seconds that this is not how you play the build. But we have a irreversible destruction of this Enigma to do if we want to go for a dragon. And I do kind of like the mobility. So we're going to test with Enigma first. If we find that it's lackluster, we're going to jump over to making a dragon armor as well. So let's quickly go over the build, guys. We have maxed Conviction. We have maxed Holy... no, we haven't maxed Holy Fire. We have maxed the Holy Fire synergies in Resist Fire and Salvation. We have 1 point in Holy Shield. We have maxed Zeal. We have 18 point Spear. Where do we go with the 18 points? I'm leaning towards Holy Shield. Because I feel like overall you get more out of the Holy Shield. That defense, the chance to block. You shouldn't really be in danger of dying from spells with this build anyway. I mean, I could be wrong. Let's just go with that. I think I will make a note of that. That when you have taken 1 point, you can put it in many different places. So let's just do that. So we're going to start with the cow level here. This is really freaking cool, though. I can tell you that. What is not cool is the fire damage, or the fire immunes. So it is working. It is working, but it's not working as well as I think it is intended. On the other hand, there is one other consideration here. The guys are saying that, oh, make another dragon and you can just walk around and stuff dies. Okay, fair point, but how long does that cow run take you? How long does it take to run the entire cow run compared to how long this takes? So, do we actually know what is better for efficiency? I don't think we do. Yeah, but if you have charge, then you're not supplying. Oh, I mean, I guess you are technically just running then, right? You're just charging, and you're not even using zeal at that point, right? Yeah, I assumed that that would be actually the change. When you have double dragon, you don't need to zeal at all, which is actually going to make the build even safer. So I think we're going to stop there. We're gonna destroy this Enigma and go for another dragon, and we'll be back in just a snap of your fingers. All right, we have remade, of course, as I showed you just a few seconds ago. We went and got the leg. We're gonna do a cow level. So the gear is exactly the same as I showed you initially. The only thing we changed is the Enigma for another dragon. So let's go. We buff up. The play is swap to Conviction and run. This is gonna take... oh boy, this is gonna take some patience to play. I can tell you that. I mean, this is obviously unbelievably strong, right? But this is so passive. Like, how passive is this? I'm literally just standing here. Like, I can imagine that you would get really, really tired of this gameplay eventually. Like, look at this damage.
I am overburdened.
Okay. This is insane. Okay, let's do the Cow King. Okay, those were minions. And the Cow King. 2 ticks. I mean, hello? Yeah, we're gonna do some other areas. I couldn't be bothered with bail runs. Bail runs are terrible. Bail runs is a group activity for experience, not for farming. Like, I mean, I can feel it already though. Like, this is like, for somebody who enjoys passive builds, like summon builds and stuff. This is, if possible, even more passive than a summon build, because there's nothing doing anything. You're just standing there. Plonk. Okay, this is weird. I have to be honest. This is kind of a weird build. I mean, it's unbelievably strong though. So that was the cow showcasing of the Auradin. Unbelievably strong, in my opinion. Maybe even too strong. The thing is, you should be very careful about saying that things are too strong. Because what you're seeing here, right, it feels like it's too strong, but there's some things that you have to think about. First of all, the cost of this character is absolutely enormous. We're playing Cham, Low, Sir Cham, Low, Vex, Sir Low, with Arachnid's Mesh and a full inventory and the Torch. I mean, the mercenary is safety. Like, it's only safety. Like, okay, sure, I can skip the whole mercenary, but I mean, does it matter? This is still Sir Cham Low, so it's 3 Sir runes, 3 Low runes, and a Vex rune. With Call to Arms, of course. Well, what did I say? 3 Sir runes and 3 Low runes? Actually, let me rephrase that. 3 Sir runes and 3 Low runes is not bad. That's not even the same as Enigma plus Infinity. Exactly. I just realized it's not even that expensive. It just looks expensive because it's Sir runes instead of Burr runes. This is a lot cheaper than I thought. Although, what does the Magic Find look like? Do we actually have 0 Magic Find? We actually have 0 Magic Find. So I guess this is a rune farming character then.
It's locked.
Because you can't really get too much Magic Find from your charms here anyway. I mean, I guess you can get the Geeds, right? Do we have 39? No, we have 69 Magic Find. So you can get to pretty much 100. Get to pretty much 100 with this. How do you get to 400? I mean, I guess you can go for a 2 skills with 35 Magic Find over here. You don't technically need this fire skill, I guess. You can go for what's his face? Chance cards. You can go for War Travs instead of Trex. Wait, do we need the skillers at all? I mean, the plus skills from the rings is pretty nice. I probably wouldn't sacrifice those. I would sacrifice the offensive aura skillers long before I would remove the BK and the SOJ. So that means the inventory is what, 240, 290, 330. Yeah, you can get to like 350. You can fairly easily get to 350. That's pretty insane. Oh. Yeah, after a quick review, guys, we have looked over the gear, and it comes to show that you don't really need these offensive aura skillers. They don't really do anything for you because of the level that you have on Conviction right now. You are basically you're overcapping resistance. I would actually suggest that if you're playing this build, just load up more Magic Find. Load up more Magic Find as much as you can. Go for War Travs, go for Chance cards. And if you can get a 2/2 Paladin with 30 plus Magic Find, go for that. You definitely don't need this. You can get resistance on your charms, so get Magic Find and the rest on your charms. But then we we're gonna go over to try Chaos. Oh yeah, they are actually. Yeah, that's not great. The the Venom Lords in Chaos are actually hard fire immune. So that's indicative of a not too great of an area to farm in. So I think that, I mean, skip them, but I mean, what's the point of being in Chaos if you're skipping everything? Why are you here then? You might as well farm somewhere else, wouldn't you? Yeah, I feel like this is pretty slow for split farming. This is on players 3, so this is basically it's emulating a bunch of friends playing together on Battle.net in a players 3 game to get better, you know, to get better loot, right? But it doesn't really work that well. I'm probably gonna die here. I don't have any healing potions left. Yeah, it doesn't work that that well actually. Oh, the health and the damage is 100%. Because, well, it's technically 150 and 200%. Yeah, I was on Holy Shield for a second there. But I don't think it changes anything, because there's too many hard there's too many hard immunes. So I don't think Chaos is the play for this character, particularly for split farming. So yeah, I think nah, we're just gonna scrap. We're just gonna scrap the Chaos Sanctuary on players 3. We can try another run on players 1 and see how that works. The Act 3 mercenary is only gonna work if it's on top of you all the time, but he's not going to be. Because he's gonna be in Narnia, and you don't do any he doesn't do anything. Yeah, I don't think the mercenary is the issue here. I think the issue is the units. Yeah, but it's level 30 Holy Shock with no synergies. How much damage does level 30 Holy Shock do? 300? You're completely out of left field, Zinko. You have no idea what's going on. You can't max synergies on a mercenary. Like, if you're gonna say something, try to keep up. No, we haven't tried the martial art. This is the second character we're trying. Okay, so let me. Level 20 Holy Shock does 900 damage, okay. So I'm assuming that level 30 will do like probably double that. But yeah, I mean, even on players 1, guys, we have tried Chaos now. First on players 3 for split farming purposes, and we have tried it now on players 1. It's just not sound because you can't break the fire immunes. Like the majority of the fire immunes, you can't break. You won't have the efficiency that you're looking for down here. I don't think Chaos is the way to go with this build. I think we're gonna look into something else. Alright, time to test the pits. We have done Chaos, we have done Chaos Sanctuary. Chaos Sanctuary was not the place. Chaos was amazing. Let's check out the pits. Oh, I think we're gonna have the same kind of experience here, aren't we? That it's going to be quite good. Yeah, this slays really, really hard here, of course. But I mean, you do still have the same kind of problem that you don't have teleport with this build. So even how fast this build is killing, it doesn't... Like, the efficiency of the build isn't really that high. It'd be funny if we found the high room. Yeah, the efficiency of the build isn't really that crazy high because we don't have the mobility. Particularly in areas like this where we don't have the map. Like if you're playing on BNet and you don't have the map. The efficiency of this build is not that good. Like, the damage is unbelievable, of course. I mean, we literally charge into everything and it just dies. Like, look at this. But I still feel like the build, because it has to run on the ground, is fairly slow. And obviously the hard to fire immunes is... What would it have to do to be called OP? It would have to do this while I'm using Enigma. Then it would be OP. If it could do this while I'm teleporting, then it would be OP. Like this, it's just... Like, I feel like it's almost like a false sense of how strong this build is. I have to say, I do have mixed feelings about this build, because I think a lot of people that watch this, and they have been watching it since yesterday, they only see what happens when you enter the cow portal. And yes, the build does a shit ton of damage. But it... Like, you can't only count that, because you don't start a game right here and you can just click the open cow level, right? It doesn't work that way. You also have to go there and get the leg while running on your feet and finding the portal while running on your feet. Okay, you're charging, but still. I don't think this build is... From an efficiency point of view, I don't think it's OP. I don't think it is as crazy as many people want it to look. I think the build is dumb. Yeah, you can wear Enigma when you're looking for the leg, but you know, first of all, you're gonna have terrible frames. But you're still going to have the same issue in every single area you farm that is not the cow level. The cow level is the same, right? It's always a circle around the thing in the middle, right? But as soon as you step out of that, if you want to go to the pits, it doesn't really work, because it's, as soon as the pit map splits, your efficiency is dead. Because then you have to double back by charging. So I think my take on this build, and you can probably make this build better. Don't get me wrong. You can probably make this build do even more damage than I'm doing right now. I have a big problem trying to utilize the mercenary because I keep charging away from him. He doesn't really do anything. He's just standing in Narnia picking flowers or running into walls because I'm charging away from him and he can't keep up. I can't utilize, no matter what I put on this mercenary, no matter what mercenary this is, you're going to keep running away from him. But you can definitely make this a bit more optimized, I think. This was just some gear that I threw on him. I don't think, even if this build is kind of cool in the way it works, but I think it can become boring really fast because it's extremely passive. You basically just run between packs and you don't do anything. It just dies from the aura. It's like a summoning build where you do nothing. It's like a summoning build where nothing happens. You stand there. So for me, I'm not really sold about this build. I'm not convinced that a lot of players will play this build. Because it's extremely limited in where it is reasonable to farm with. I think you're pretty much confined to the cow level farming this. But if you enjoy this kind of like passive playstyle, test the build yourself. See if you can go with maybe you can mix in a dream here. You can go double dream and maybe dragon hand of justice. You can try double dream on a Act 3 mercenary. That's been recommended about 17 times here. I still don't think that's gonna do very much because you're just gonna keep running away from your mercenary. If the mercenary could be attached to your ass while you're running, I think that would be decent. But the way that the build plays now, you just run away from your mercenary. His damage will never be efficient. It will never be helpful. I think that if you play this build, you confine yourself to the cow level. And, you know, that can be fun. The build is kind of fun for a while. But I think that, for me personally, I think I would get tired of this build quite fast because it doesn't really do anything. That's just my take on it. So that was the last of the test characters for the Paladin. I'm going to ask the chat here what we're going to do next, and we're going to get into the next character in just a little bit. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.